There we go. So thank you again for joining us. I'm Shauna Warner with Neighborhood Services, and I'm joined by Aaron Kirkpatrick with Parks and Recreation, and we are going to talk about our planned improvements for Svob Park. Aaron?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Erin Kirkpatrick. I'm the Capital Improvement Project Coordinator for the City of Tempe Parks. So I help to shepherd all of our capital improvement projects for the parks from this phase, our outreach phase, through to construction. So tonight we're talking about Svob Park, which is on the schedule to receive a new Ramada or two. And this is part of our recreational value enhancement program, which basically is an effort to get all of our parks up to a baseline of amenities so that each park has a playground, a certain number of benches and drinking fountains, and then a covered picnic Ramada or two, depending on the size. And Svob Park is large, and we'll be potentially receiving up to 2 Ramadas. I'm going to go through what we call the boards for the project. So this is information that you can see online on the project webpage and is also embedded in the survey. So if you go to the website to take the online survey, this information is available there as well. And here's my contact information. If you have any questions or concerns throughout this process, feel free, send me an email, give me a call. I am available to talk through any of the issues or questions that you have. All right, so Svob Park, as part of this project, will be receiving, if there's enough community support, a picnic Ramada or 2, and then any associated sidewalks or walkways that we need to install to create ADA accessibility to that Ramada will also be installed as part of this project. And any lighting for security and safety lighting will also be part of it. But yeah, that's the extent of this particular outreach. So we have an aerial here of Svob Park. A lot of great tree cover. Got the playground right around here, the basketball court here. And then we have chosen a few potential locations for the Ramada that get it out of the way of any conflicting amenities, and also, away from any potential athletic fields, but also make some connections to the amenities that are there, like the basketball court and the playground. So option A is kind of embedded in this grove of trees here off of the playground to the east. Option B is between the basketball court and the playground and would have a walkway to connect them from the basketball court and then again over to the sidewalk for the playground. Option C is over across the sidewalk, more on the western side, off the north sidewalk. So there's a relatively flat area out of the retention basin, and that's another potential option here. And then option D is on the southeast side off of Vineyard, closer to the athletic field. So you have the option of choosing a 24 by 34 single Ramada or 2 20 by 20s, and they would be placed in whatever the most popular locations are from the outreach. So if everybody loves location A and everybody wants just 1 Ramada, it's going to go here. If everybody wants 2 Ramadas and they love A and the second option chosen is C, then they would be going here. So it's basically going to be based on majority opinion. The first question, though, of the survey is whether you support a Ramada at all. And if we don't have consensus on that, then we would be looking at potential shade options elsewhere in the park. And we would not move forward with the Ramada. We have some photos of those locations. It's kind of hard when you're not in the park to see exactly where these are. But again, we got in location A is within the grove of trees. This is looking east toward the field. This is looking north toward the road and the houses from that location. And then B is between the basketball court on the way to the playground. Again, looking basically east, and then looking toward the south. Ramada C is here on that high ground, kind of across the sidewalk, activating at the other side of the park. And then Ramada location D is just off the sidewalk on the south side there, a little bit further away, closer to the playing fields. The other choices that we're asking for resident input on are what that Ramada material finish looks like. So there's the option of a plain metal post finish, and the color would be chosen to kind of complement whatever amenities are already existing in the park. You have the option of choosing the roof color. They're all cool paint colors, so they'll all have some level of energy savings and will kind of refract that sunlight. But you have a metal post, a scored CMU block tends to be a more narrow column, the notch CMU, which is a bit wider and has inlays, and then a stone veneer. And they wouldn't necessarily look exactly like these particular Ramada finishes. It would all be designed to work well with what else is in the park and in the neighborhood. All right, and so to give your input, we ask that you go to the tempe.gov park update page. There's a link to Svob Park and to the survey. Shauna will share that in the chat as well. You can vote, you can get your partners to vote, your family and friends to vote, anybody who's in the neighborhood. If you have children, they can weigh in on their opinion, but you have basically 2 weeks to do so. So the survey will close on November 1st. We'll compile all of the voting and summarize it and share that on the project page. And then at that point, we'll move into our design phase. So at this point, our projects in general are taking about 2 years to be completed once we start that project input phase. So we would expect to be on the ground in the park, basically 2 years from now, after going through the design, the bidding process, the council approval process, and then getting on the schedule with the contractor. So there's still a bit of time to design and figure out what exactly the construction will look like, but we anticipate it to be done in about 2 years. And that's about it for me. If anybody has any questions or needs any clarification, or wants to see any of those images again, just let me know.
And you're welcome to either put your question in the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
I'm just going to move back up to my contact page real quick. So if you do have any questions or concerns, definitely feel free to email those or give me a call. We will keep the project page up to date as it moves through each phase. And we will also make sure to be updating the neighborhood by postcard, especially when we start to hit that construction phase so that everyone knows what to expect and what the timeline looks like.
Okay, and so not having any questions, then I'm going to stop the recording.